Hey everybody, Sue here from She Sells. I did a video last week and I mentioned then that I hadn't had a mount for my phone and that's why I've been slacking, hadn't gotten to it. Finally got one, made a video last week, but I ended up on a trip to Charlotte and I didn't get any free time to upload that video, so I will get that done. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how my trip went. So I think I mentioned in the last video that I decided to take my helper. I have a woman that comes in. She's been working for me about 1.5 years, and then the Q4 before that she just helped out with processing, you know, like peeling stickers and polybagging and that kind of thing. So I guess last January I had hired her like as a permanent employee, but she was just part-time. I do pay her through payroll, so she was working for me every Monday. And then, you know, occasionally when I needed her, I found some extra stuff, that kind of thing. But maybe 6 months ago, I had her, and during Christmas, she actually was working for me at least a couple days a week, but then she ran into some problems. Her mom had been sick and stuff, and I actually didn't have her too much right at the Christmas time. So I had a couple other people. Anyway, so about last 6 months, she's been working for me 2 days a week. And I decided, I just asked her last Friday, hey, would you want to go out of town with me? And we've been friends a long time, so I've known her personally outside of work. I just talked about that too, about what you talk about with your friend when you're hiring them and how it's all about business. We had a 30-day, you can quit anytime, I can say it's not working anytime, and neither one of us will have hard feelings. We had a 60-day, a 90-day, are you still liking it? Is it still working out for you? So we've really kind of kept in check on that. Anyway, so now she's been working for me 2 days a week, and last Friday I said, you know, would you want to go out of town with me? And she said, yes, when? And I was like, as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow? But we ended up, that was Friday, and we ended up leaving on I had to stop talking there for a second. So we ended up leaving on Monday, and we sourced all the way to Charlotte, and then Tuesday and Wednesday she stayed in the hotel room most of the day and processed shipments for me. And then I came home around dinner time. We had a late dinner on Tuesday with actually a couple viewers. Thank you so much for dinner, Shelly and Steven. It was delicious. We had a great time. I hope I didn't talk your ear off, because I tend to do that. I'm very passionate about reselling, and once you get me started talking, I can't stop. But really, really nice dinner. We had a really good time. So, and then we actually did do a little bit more shopping. No, we did some shopping right before dinner across the street. We did go home after dinner on Tuesday. Then I shopped a longer day on Wednesday, and we got our chopped salad, as I talked about on the Thursday morning show, which was very delicious. And then we did a little shopping afterwards. Kind of finished up packing boxes on Wednesday night. Brought them to UPS on Thursday morning. I had about 10 boxes. I think we had 4 shipments altogether. And then put the rest back in the car. One item we had run out of poly bags for, and I had brought 100 of several sizes. But anyway, we just had a lot to poly bag. And so I packed up what was left, and it was like, ooh, the car is partway full already, maybe a third to half full. And then we shopped on the way home, and we really hit the jackpot about 20 miles. Our first stop was 20 miles outside of Charlotte. And oh man, we did really, really well there. It was one of those, my heart was pumping, it was exciting. And then it was 3:30 in the afternoon already, because we had made 2 stops since leaving the hotel and packing boxes and all the rest for that day. And my husband called and said, how close are you to Atlanta? And I didn't want to say, like, we're only 20 miles from the hotel. So I said, well, we've been shopping a little, and then we are actually meeting up for dinner in Anderson, South Carolina. And he said, okay, be home around 10, 9, I guess. And I said, well, remember, I have to drop off Carla. And he's like, okay, maybe 10. So then we were late. I mean, I kept in contact with my friends in Anderson, and that was really fun and exciting. This Bill and Viv, hi Bill and Viv. They are friends from high school, and I haven't seen them for 40 years. We've lived on different parts of the country, and we got kind of in touch again through Facebook. We had a common friend from high school, and we were both friends with them. And then Viv happened to see me 2 summers ago. We were on a beach vacation, and she happened to hear me talk about how I had been at the beach, and then I took one day to Source, and I had shipped 300 pounds to Amazon. And she wrote me a private message, and she was like, oh, do you do Amazon too? So her and her husband work full-time, and they have been doing Amazon on the side. They had been living in southern Florida and bought some property up in Anderson, South Carolina, and they've been building their own house, and they finally kind of moved up, and they're finishing everything up. So even though they've been doing a little bit of eBay, even though they've been doing some Amazon, they've been really trying to finish up on the house and everything and then get back into it. So we met for dinner, had a really nice talk, but then it was almost 9 before we left there. I meant to set my timer. I think we got there about 7:30. I meant to set my timer for 45 minutes since we were running late already. Consequently, I dropped off Carla about 11. I got home about 11:30, and I was pretty pooped. So tired that I did not empty the car. I did take out some things that I got some of I guess I got my luggage out last night. We got Carla's luggage out. And I had to ship some items for eBay this afternoon, which I just dropped off at the post office. And I'm doing a little bit of video. It's not great because I don't have anything inside. I don't have a tripod yet. So I'm just kind of taking little snippets of how I am packing the Korean Airlines teapot set to ship. It's very fragile. It's Wedgwood China, and I did sell it for $107, but that includes the shipping, which was about $15. So anyway, the trip was extremely successful, and I would totally do that again. On Monday I had a good sourcing day. Tuesday was okay, but I thought to myself, I don't know if the money's gonna work out, between gas, that big expense gas, not really, and the hotel and the meals and all that. We did bring some of our own food and some bottles of water and things, and and we ate pretty frugally, so that didn't cost a ton of money. But then on Wednesday, I did really, really, really well on Wednesday. I was at a totally separate part of Charlotte, so I'm not sure if that's what made the difference or not. Before I left, I had called a few stores ahead of time, and I knew of some items that I was going to pick up. Some bigger quantities of items. So I knew I would do okay. Like, I knew it wouldn't be a bad trip, but I ended up shipping in probably 1.5 times my goal for the week, and then I brought home almost another full goal for next week. So we will see when I get that shipment finished, but from the dollars that I purchased, it should be enough for next week's goal. I am trying to get a little bit ahead, because my son's and his wife's having a baby the end of August, and I would really like to go to Texas and at least for a couple days not work. So that's what's going on with me, and I've got a tickle in my throat right now, so I'm going to run into Publix and I'll come back and finish up. Okay, back home. I got some eBay packages ready to ship. Well, brought them over to the post office. I guess I did that at the start of the video, but I had a few more. I didn't finish the teapot set in time to get to the post office before they closed. Had to take my husband to some doctor visits today and that kind of thing, and just catching up at home. So got kind of a slow start to the day. I got several things shipped off to eBay, but I actually did a video on wrapping up that teapot set because it's really fragile, and I wanted to make sure that it got there all in one piece or all in 6 pieces. So I did a little video about that. So just kind of to wrap up, I actually ended up I still ended up staying up really late every night, which I tend to do when I'm outsourcing, but normally I'm up prepping. And I did work on a little bit of stuff, some things that were a little bit of specialty item that I had to kind of do a little prep for Carla to prep. And then, but I spent a little bit more time like searching on Brickseek and different kind of things like that and mapping out exactly where I was going to go at night. So, and the other thing too is we ended up going out to dinner with some viewers. Carla and I went out to eat at Chopped. And normally when I'm outsourcing, I might grab some food and bring it home at 9 o'clock and sit there and eat it while I'm prepping. So even though I did stay up late, it was, just a little bit different circumstances. And then Thursday we got a late start because I did the show. First I did the show because we thought Scott wasn't going to come on that morning, so we're going to do 9 to 10. And then Scott let us know he was coming on at 10, which John forgot. And so I did just a little bit of time on that show. So then we had to pack the boxes into the car and get those over to UPS and get them labeled and blah blah blah. And so I don't think we left the hotel till like 12:30. So like I said, we got about 20 miles away and went to one store, then the second store we went crazy in, and it just ended up being a really late day getting home, but that's pretty normal for me. I mean, had Carla not been with me and had I not told my husband I'd be home that night, I probably would have shopped all the way home and come home the next day. But that's fine. There's plenty to get here as well. And I will probably be over the weekend looking for more of what I found in Charlotte because I got some things there that I hadn't been buying here. So I think I'm going to have a pretty good shipment out next week. I've also been talking to a friend about a little different way to prep and ship. And I'm going to look into some new software and just really, really trying to get organized before Q4. It'll be here before we know it. I'm already buying heavier, more quantities. I'm buying some stuff to hold for Q4. It's a really good time right now to just be sourcing. There's a lot of clearance, a lot of end of summer. I always buy things at the end of the season, and I still sell it for a little while. Obviously, I'm not going to buy 100 of something that is strictly summer, but I still might buy a dozen or 2 dozen if I see it at a really good price, because people will still be buying summer for a while. Their stores are going to start putting out Halloween and winter coats, and they might be going on a Labor Day weekend trip and need some summer item, so I still will be buying some of that. So I think overall was a very successful trip. I will sit down and do the actual numbers for myself. I won't really share that, but I will just do the numbers, and I'm quite sure that it worked out in my favor, but I want to just see it on paper. And so we might be doing that again. I'm not planning on traveling as much as I used to because I've been finding more in Atlanta by going to all parts of town and also doing some overnight trips. Like I can go to Birmingham or Chattanooga. Sorry, Jonathan. Places like that and come back in the same day. So I'll be probably doing more of that and just trying to shop at stores where I can buy larger quantities and not quite travel as much, but I really do enjoy it. Like, honestly, I probably didn't have to go to Charlotte for this trip, but I was really itching to take a trip. And some of the warehouse clubs here had run out of, I had bought everything up there, and Charlotte's the next closest place with a whole bunch of them. So that was partly why I decided to go, but also because I just really wanted to get out of town. I just love to source and travel, so it really is enjoyable for me. But it was really, really nice having somebody with me. I wish it could be my husband. I wish he would like to source and travel with me, but don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, so I'll just bring Carla if she wants to come. Anyway, I will be seeing you on Tuesday and Thursday, If you like, please go ahead and hit the like button. You can subscribe. I always forget to say all this stuff, but do it if you want. You can subscribe if you want. If you hit the little bell when I actually do put some videos out again. And now that I've got the mounts, I should be doing it a little bit more. Hopefully once a week, because I kind of enjoy it. And it's just my rambling. It's not really anything... to me, it's not very educational, but people seem to like it. So anyway, we'll talk to you soon and see you in the next one. Merlin.